Hi and welcome to this week's episode of Fun with Whole Foods, which is all about cookies. Because, let's be honest, who doesn't love a good cookie? But when you're trying to go high protein, low sugar, low carb, it can be difficult to come across. I was inspired to start trying to make my own cookies after trying a store-bought version, which... I shouldn't say the brand. It's one of the big name brands, and I tasted it. I just thought, this is stale. It's full of artificial crap, and I can do better. So this is how we do it. I'm not sure if I've mentioned, I find vegan protein to be the best protein when I want to do baked goods. So we're going to start off with a 1/4 cup of rice protein, or roughly 1 scoop. We're using this instead of flour. And then we're going to do a 1/4 cup of pea protein, both unflavoured, unsweetened. If you have a vegan protein mix that's already got them blended, go for it. I can't guarantee how it will turn out, but why not try it? Then, again, the Yum and Yay milled seeds of raspberries. You want 1/8 of a cup of these. And then you're going to have to excuse me because I forgot something. Bicarbonate of soda. Now, the mnemonic to remember is baking powder puffs, baking soda spreads. I've experimented with both, and for cookies, baking soda works best. I use half sachet. These sachets are 7 grams, so it's 3.5 grams, which I find tends to be roughly a teaspoon of baking soda. Right. To make these really chocolatey, I use 2 teaspoons of cocoa powder. I will explain and give an alternative both in my blog and later in this video. Freeze-dried raspberry pieces. I get these from the home baking department at one of my stores. 1/8 of a cup again, roughly 4 grams. It's a little bit over, it's kind of a heaped cup. But you can also find them on Amazon. I was looking to see if I could get them cheaper, and I found this brand Leolicious on Amazon to order. So if you can't find them locally, they'll be somewhere around. Extra dark chocolate chunks, because is it even a cookie if it doesn't have chocolate chunks in it? Really, come on. It's about 1/8 of a cup again. If I weigh it out rather than do cups, I'd use 25 grams. So it puts a little bit of sugar in, but not much. So it's about 2.5 grams of sugar for an entire cookie. So you stir all your dry ingredients together. Stirry, stirry, stir. And then we get to the wet ingredients. So, almond milk. Again, if you want to replace with dairy milk, that's fine. It's going to up the sugar. 1/4 of a cup. And 1 egg. Again, if you want to make these vegan, swap for a vegan egg. It's fine. Almond butter. Now, the reason I use 2 teaspoons of cocoa is because I was using a chocolate almond butter, but I realised that might not be available worldwide. So I've changed the recipe to plain almond butter and added more cocoa. Because I want everyone to be able to make these recipes. You could use any kind of nut butter. Almond's my preferred one because it has more protein in it, and I'm all about protein. Right, And lastly, but by no means least, because it really helps with the flavour, raspberry essence. I had not come across this until I found this brand called Uncle Roy's. I don't know where you'd order it abroad. You want about 6 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It helps to boost the raspberry flavour in the cookies. So we're having dark chocolate and raspberry flavour, if you haven't guessed. Stir it all together. Stir. Sometimes I mix all the wet ingredients in a bowl before I add them to the dry ingredients. Sometimes I don't. It depends how much I can be bothered to wash up. It doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. Right. Now I found you want a fairly stiff cookie dough. You want it to feel a bit like Play-Doh in texture. So you're going to need to get your hands in there for the last bit of soaking up your protein powder. There's no flour. It's all protein powder in these bad boys, which is one of the things I love about rice protein. It works really well as a flour. But yeah, I put lots of flavour in with the raspberries and with the dark chocolate to kind of cover. I know they say it's unflavoured pea protein, but it always has a slight taste to me. So, right, we have our cookie dough. Now this makes 4 cookies, decent sized cookies. So, you can be really pedantic, or you can just kind of divide it into 4. The latter. These don't last very long for me. And then put it onto a baking tray, lined with baking paper, baking parchment, whatever you guys call it. Just squish into cookie shape and place on. You can make it a little wetter and do them like drop scones, but then I find they puff up a bit and they're not quite so cookie-ish. Is that a word, cookie-ish? It feels like it should be a word. These are so misshapen today. I get so anxious on this camera talking to you guys. Like, really, you have no real idea. Yeah. That's just what sticks to me today. So as you can see, messy hands. Gonna do a quick wash. And I forgot to put you on the water. Oh. Squishy wash. Quick wash of the hands. Still a bit of cookie dough under the fingernails. Then you want to pop them into a preheated oven at gas mark 6 for 12 minutes. Making note of the time because my timer's on my phone. Then you take them out and they will look something like this. Smells gorgeous. They are gorgeous when they are hot directly out of the oven. I'll show you the inside. That texture is amazing. I think the longest I've kept them in Tupperware is 3 days. They start to get a little bit stale by then, but I eat 2 or 3 a day. So that's protein cookies for you. Have a great time. Check out my blog for the written details of the recipe, and I'll see you next week.